Hello everyone, and welcome to C-View Quantum Network. I'm your presenter Daniel, and I'm here with producer Claudia Pareco. Our opening song features Reach for the Stars, from Cyclone's new album, Showtime, available on all music stores and platforms. A moment of your time is one of the most extraordinary gifts we could ever be given. We are honored every time we've received a moment of your time. We are servants of the new age, the time of prophecy, the time of the ascending sixth sun. We are a platform for alchemists and multidimensional souls. We connect with many planes of reality and assist the awakening journey. We are pure light, transmitters of high vibrational light out into reality. Our shows are held on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. At any moment to participate on our shows, please call 805-830-8344 and press 1 to talk with the host. Call for free at 805-830-8344 and wait in line, or you can use Take My Call, and for $11 you can jump the long list of callers. Do so at www.paypal.me/PURECO/11 and then please PM or email Claudia Pareco at cview1111@gmail.com and include the phone number you'll be using to call the show. All of our podcasts are easily found in all social media and are available free, live, or on demand. To request a show, please write to Claudia Pareco at cview1111@gmail.com or visit our website, cview1111.net. Now, let's listen to our host and topic of the day.
Thank you, Danny, and welcome everybody to C-View 2022. Today we have the topic Animal Insights for Everyday Living with Sandra Mendelson. She is the author of We Walk Beside You and The Secrets of the Animal. Sandra is a channel of animal consciousness, an animal communicator, and you can find more information about her at www.smendelson.com. The animals are waiting for us to join them in co-creating a world that heals and thrives. Today, we are going to listen to many of those messages that have come to Channel of Animal Consciousness, Sandra Mendelson. She's going to tell us all about what is it like to have those moments of exhilarating excitement. I don't know how to describe it. That moment where she realizes she's getting messages from these superb beings, the animal kingdom. She's going to explain us how to use her books, how those messages can help us with insights for our everyday living, and some important messages that they have for the things that we're living as a human species. And Sandra, welcome to C-View. I'm so happy to have you back. So excited for today, and so much to cover, right?
Absolutely. We'll get in as much as we possibly can, but the animals have been really, really prolific because of what has happened in our world. And even after my most recent book came out in October, and so much more has come through about really what's happening on the internal landscape of humans. And I just want people to know, why do animals know this? Specifically, elephants and horses and whales that are doing amazing energy and light work. And the reason they know this is while we get our information from the news and from human sources, animals who are not trapped in the human condition or the life of the planet are able to tap into the web of life, the field that quantum physicists talk about. So they find out, it sounds magical, but I could not make this up. They find out what's happening on the internal, like the internal lives of humans, because everything, as the animals say, first shows up on the internal and shows up on the external. So what I'm going to share today, I want to dive into really what's happening right now that the animals can apprise us of and how we can best navigate it. And then based on how much time I have, there's other things that I can share about using the books. But in short, I've been receiving channeling messages for over a decade now. I've written 2 books for grown-ups, if you will, the We Walk Beside You books, and 2 books for children. I got 1 more. The children's books are in rhyme because the animal's perspective is so helpful by virtue of the fact that they are not human. They see things and understand things as part of their connection to all that is and to Mother Earth, and they can be so helpful for us. So Claudia, is there anything you want to ask me first, or just kind of dive into what's happening on the internal according to the animals?
Yes, Sandra, it's fascinating that they can tap into the internal. And I think that's the first thing that we want to know, how. And how amazing. And do they change things internally for us?
Do they change things? Well, remember, we're all here. Each one of us is a soul on its pathway. And we are also, of course, part of the human collective. So nobody can change things for another. I'm sorry. Animals can't change things for us. They can share insights. So much of what they teach us is acceptance and loving things just as they are. So many species have come through and said, even that which seems incomprehensible here happens so that our soul can grow. So animals cannot change things for us, no. But they can certainly enlighten us, and what can be changed by us, for ourselves, that's another story. Their insights can help us do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And probably that's what I meant by change. It's not like magically change, but it's like support us in that, or because I found that, for example, when people feel anxiety, and here comes the cat and starts, and they sit on your inside on top of you, and they start purring, you immediately feel calmer. And that's what I meant, is like they can support us and assist us in so many ways.
Yes, always in driving back to ourselves, to love, to our hearts. Your cat will go sit on your newspaper and get your attention. Every time I hug my boyfriend, my dog runs in from the other room and just sits at our feet. I mean, he will not miss a moment of, oh, you guys are getting it. You're in your heart. More like that, more like that. So yes, they are always showing us with their behavior the way back to our heart. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Sandra, why did you think we should listen to animals in the first place?
Well, that would take us in a very long-winded direction. But, at the beginning of my new book, I've listed about, at least 11 different reasons why animal perspective is so helpful to us. They observe themselves without judgment or comparison. They don't identify with their bodies. I mean, think about it. They never even look in the mirror for the most part for their entire lives. So their entire concept of self has absolutely nothing to do with what they look like. Can you even imagine, especially women, how different it would be if we never had to look at our physical form or judge it, right? So, they don't measure their lives by the clock or the calendar. So there's no such thing as being late. They know the difference in times of the morning based on sunlight, the afternoon, evening, nighttime, a long time versus a short time. But they don't count out their lives in minutes or hours. And it goes on from there. They communicate through a stream of thought and energy. So even when they're separated, they're physically, they're never alone. They're always using their sixth sense along with their five senses, and I've got so much more, but it has to do with, they don't believe in spirit or God or the great gardener, all that is. We believe, but the animals just know it to be a reality, and that death is absolutely an illusion, and that they will be back, but they don't know in advance what form holds the lessons that their soul needs to learn. So, just throwing those out very quickly, I hope everybody can see that animals operate from a different place of knowing their own importance, while we humans are working so hard to figure it out for ourselves.
And Sandra, when we follow you, which people can do, they can follow you on Facebook and they can read a lot of these messages. Mm-hmm. I've been noticing that you have been posting a lot of horses and dogs and elephants, and these animals are coming up forward lately more than others for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Great. I'm glad you brought that up, especially today. Birds, because they are the communicators that carry the information that other animals. And the birds, again, there's no fly zone. Birds go everywhere, even where our cell phones do not go. So they communicate to the entire animal kingdom what is going on, and they fly over such great distances, and they see the changes in humans, in our hearts. I've got from the birds a lot lately, from elephants, because, and this is a very long conversation, but they are incredible light workers. In fact, as an elephant told me, the other animals know of their work. So the elephant's perspective, is so powerful. They can even see the human map. In other words, they know when we're going to fall in a hole, for example, like the pandemic. They can't see what it's going to be, but for some reason, they know the human internal landscape is going to experience a hole before we do. And horses. Again, birds and elephants are really wild. They are not sewed up to the human condition. Horses really straddle both worlds like no other animal. They are the most ethereal. They are here to partner with humans in our awakening. So they're doing this, while the elephants are clearing the collective energetically, moving out walls of ideology, horses are clearing us on a one-by-one basis. That's why they're always nipping, and we think they're mouthy because they get too many treats. And so many horses have explained, no, we are clearing out constricted energy in your field, which is known as our aura. So that's why the stuff that's been coming through from these three different species is so powerful. We need it right now, and they're giving us like this is what's happening the moment. This is what has shifted. This is where you're at, humans, and this is what we suggest to help you make it through with strength and optimism and courage.
That's great. And Sandra, I've been following the news lately. Well, everybody is. And the war. What is the message that animals give us about the war that is going on?
I'm going to quote a very, very powerful matriarch, an elephant named Tokwe. And she says the balance of power is shifting. And these are her words. We tune into the human landscape and see it as a slow progression, but it's in forward motion toward the light nonetheless. The balance of power is shifting. Again, this is something you cannot see, but we can. Those not of the light are resisting, so they make a bigger noise, appearing to retain power. Falsehood, my dear. I can also tell you there will not be a world war or mass destruction as many of you fear. The light quotient is rising too fast. This has never happened before in history. There is not enough of the collective that wants war. It is such a shame you humans cannot see this except for a very small number of you. Events will take a turn for the good that will surprise you. Tell everyone to see peace reign in their minds every day. So they see what's going to happen. Again, they don't measure time. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. I wish I could. But we absolutely have to hold that in our consciousness, that peace will reign.
And, you know what I get from that also, Sandra?
Mm-hmm.
I love what you just read. To me, it feels trust. It feels, I wish I had that trust that animals do, because that feeling that everything is going to be okay and that good is prevailing and winning and going bigger, I have that. But sometimes you don't trust that feeling that you have, that wisdom, that inner knowing.
I know.
But I wish I was like them.
But you know why? It's because you are connected to the human collective. So even when you are, sitting in the high, taking the high road, if you will, and sitting in the optimism, you still feel the human collective. And I'm going to get into that. So, and you're still in a 3D body. So, that is the work right now. At every moment when we feel the darkness, maybe I'd like to share a couple of things, if I can, about this. Here's something from a heron. We prance to get the attention of those who need beauty in their lives because they are living in their minds where they have not put any beauty. Only fear, worry, and negativity are found there. We want you to access your positivity and your ability to see beyond what is in your now. Few of you are doing this. You are drowning in a sea of doom. You must see the earth and all living creatures rise and emerge from this darkness. Strive for unity in your own homes and lives, and it will spread for external change to believe that good will triumph, because the good is within you. Remind yourself daily of your own goodness, not your flaws, so your goodness expands. We do not focus on global population. We focus on our own, our families, and community. You humans were not designed for what you concentrate on, situations far away that you cannot change or help. Follow these words, follow or leave, and your happiness and survival strength will grow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's every moment. You can wake up like I do, like, oh my God, what is dread? And I'm going to get, actually, that tells me what I should cover right now. Where there's more going on in humans that the animals want us to know about. Hugo, a really evolved horse, talked about the purging of the human emotional body. He said, yes, the surface is very grim, the war, destruction, the death and displacement of so many animals and humans, but behind the scenes and under the stage, the groundswell of new life and the new earth is heavily underway. New regenerative technologies and healing modalities are appearing. Many beings are doing energy healing work, both humans and non-humans. And here's the kicker. And hugely important is the purging of the human emotional body. There are so many humans who are flushing out emotions for themselves and for all. You will know you are doing this when extreme emotions, seemingly unrelated to your now moment, turn on and off like a light switch. This is extremely tiring work, and all of you who are doing this must be commended. The animals, both domestic and wild, know about this work and will likely show up for you with extra patience, affection, and show of support. Faith is of utmost importance now, as you cannot see where you are going and you cannot witness the enormous difference you are making in the collective consciousness and its vibration, which is rising. So as a sensitive myself, I am here to tell you it's been a heck of a ride, so for anyone listening, please know the animals see this. They know if you are just, oh my God, overcome out of nowhere by anxiety, sadness, dread, all of those things that subconsciously you're not choosing. Please know you are purging these emotions for not only yourself but for the collective, and give yourself extra downtime and sleep so you heal overnight. The animals know this is happening.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot. And I could read it over and over again. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So you say something that it stayed with me, and we were talking about this before. Animals can assist you on healing illnesses? What is their insight on that?
Well, again, okay, we're going to go off in a different direction.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I have all of this. I'm cool. I'm just, the animals have a different way of looking at what they do not call illness. They refer to as a healing crisis. I specifically have stuff from a horse, elephant, ostrich, and a lion. Let's see how much we can get through. And I had more about, moving through this, since our bodies are really taking a hit right now. I'm up there with you. Crazy stuff, insane, tear-evoking stuff that our human bodies are going through right now. There's so much light going through us. There's so much stuff that we are purging, and it shows up as quote, illnesses. So here's something I want to share from a horse. Addressing the energy field in order to heal. As I mentioned before, horses do energy healings. They try to release restrictions from our aura, and they do it in all kinds of ways. And you see them, swivel their nose back and forth, or nip around us, and then turn around and yawn and release it, and it goes on from there. So they clear our aura. They also help clear our chakras. They will align their bodies, with our heart chakra, or turn around and show us their butt in a very peaceful time, not when they're being ornery or whatever. And when they do that, they're clearing our root chakra. So as I say, we release constricted energy, dissolve energy blocks, and replace them with lots of high frequency energy, which is love. Here's what they want us to know. Humans do themselves a terrible disservice by ignoring their energy field when healing. They do not know that it can fracture or suffer holes if the human body is evaded by injury or surgery procedures. And then they wonder why, long after an operation, they have not fully healed. It will benefit humans to learn how to clear their own energy fields or work with a good energy healer to assist on the pathway of healing. So I thought that one was really significant for people that are suffering years after surgery, and I don't know why. I also have some nice advice on handling a healing crisis from the elephants. And again, they always call these things human healing crises. They don't use any other words to describe the times when we are physically and emotionally challenged. And this is what they said, that they experience them as well, but not as severely as humans do, because we expect them, we do not fear them, and we always envision ourselves on the other side of the challenge they offer. So this is how you can best navigate these healing crises the way we do. 1, keep your life as normal as possible. And it's hard to do that when you feel, for example, your body is giving out on you. you may tend to stop moving, you know. Do whatever you can to keep your contacts and your endeavors and your physical movement and stuff like that. 2, add more things that make you laugh. 3, visualize yourself every day as already healed, fully. 4, do not talk about your issues. Your cells are listening, and they will assume the form you talk about. 5, plan all the activities you can still do. Write them down in a list and put them into your schedule. 6, spend time with your friends and loved ones. Focusing on being with them gets you out of your head. We never walk alone. And 7, do not question the why. Sometimes these struggles are actually protected, and you will not understand how until much further down the road. The Creator's wisdom far beyond what we can see.
So we are listening to Sandra Mendelson and her show on animal insights for everyday living. But the computer just decided to boot her out, so I'm waiting for her to call back. Let me see first if she knows she's not on the show anymore. So, so Sandra Mendelson, she is a channeler of animal consciousness. She has been doing this for many years. And animals communicate with her in such a way that we can use this on our everyday living. So she has written 2 books. One is for adults and the other one is for children, and they are a series. Today we are focusing on the 2nd book of the series, We Walk Beside You. And in that book, she has several chapters where she talks about why you want to listen to the animals, how to use that information, how you can connect more deeply with animals, and so on. So I'm trying to look for her and let her know she has disconnected. Let us call her. One moment. So Sandra lives in Florida and she works a lot with horses. I think that's the first time that she started channeling was with horses. Okay, so we are calling her. While old paradigms are crumbling and new ways of being are just beginning to take root within us, the animal's viewpoint can be especially instrumental. To contact Sandra. Sandra, can you hear me? Hello, Sandra? Hello, Sandra? Sandra, can you hear me? No, she's not speaking up. So, what can I do? Okay, so let's try another thing. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get Sandra. Okay, so I'm just tested her. So, a very good way to follow Sandra's teachings is by following her on Facebook. So you can look her up with Sandra Mendelson, and she posts about her journey with the animals every day. She posts a different message. And hold on, there you go. 3, 4, 8, 3, 4, 5, I'm calling her. again, you can follow her on Facebook, and she posts a lot of her messages and the cards. She also has cards with messages from the animals that you can follow there. And we are waiting for her to call us back. And while she does, again, her website is www.smendelson.com, and she has 2 books. You can find them on Amazon. They are the We Walk Beside You books, the number 1 and 2. We are now talking about the second book on the series. She written also for children, The Secrets of the Animals, book 1 and 2. And she finds, Sandra, that the wisdom of animals fills her with awe. I'm trying to have her call in. See if she responds on Facebook. Sandra Mendelson. Probably she hasn't even noticed that she got disconnected, or I don't know. Or something happened and she lost power. That could also happen. Well, if that's the case, we will set up another time to continue this conversation. I'm just trying to get her to respond so I know what's going on. And we apologize for that. We were having such a good conversation with Sandra Mendelson. And probably I'm going to have to disconnect. So everybody, thank you for your time. I will post on a rescheduled date later on. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to C-View Quantum Network. I'm your presenter Daniel, and I'm here with producer Claudia Pareco. Our opening song features Reach for the Stars, from Cyclone's new album, Showtime, available on all music stores and platforms. A moment of your time is one of the most extraordinary gifts we could ever be given. We are honored every time we've received a moment of your time. We are servants of the new age, the time of prophecy, the time of the ascending sixth sun. We are a platform for alchemists and multidimensional souls. We connect with many planes of reality and assist the awakening journey. We are pure light, transmitters of high vibrational light out into reality. Our shows are held on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. At any moment to participate on our shows, please call 805-830-8344 and press 1 to talk with the host. Call for free at 805-830-8344 and wait in line, or you can use Take My Call, and for $11 you can jump the long list of callers. Do so at www.paypal.me/PURECO/11, and then please PM or email Claudia Pareco at cview1111@gmail.com and include the phone number you'll be using to call the show. All of our podcasts are easily found in all social media and are available free live or on demand. To request a show, please write to Claudia Pareco at cview1111@gmail.com or visit our website, cview1111.net. Now, let's listen to our host and topic of the day.
Thank you, Danny, and welcome everybody to CView. Thank you everybody for tuning to CView Quantum Necum, to our second interview out of 3 with published author and channel of animal consciousness, Sandra Mendelson. This is part 2 of our conversation that we started on Friday based on her book 2, Animal Insights for Everyday Living, recently released, a compilation of daily animal wisdom on topics that concern us now. On Friday, as you know, we started a conversation on insights received from the animals and animal consciousness on different topics of relevance for humanity. Please replay the first interview so you can get hold of the messages delivered on topics like health, war, energy, intention, love, compassion, and so on. I love how energy works. You see, our brains are wired for novelty. We know this because we pay attention to every stimulus in our environment that feels threatening, entertaining, or out of the ordinary. This has always been a wonderful advantage. In fact, our survival as species used to depend on this aspect of brain development. But now, the Earth and all life on it has changed. Nothing is as it was anymore, and we were reminded of the message found on the sequel books from the Mandrill to Sandra, saying, animals cannot reveal all in a moment, but show us a snippet of their world, as it would be too much for us to digest. Understand that animals are intelligent, intentional beings with a complex understanding of energy, behavior, and the purpose of life. So, we were kindly reminded of this fact, and we were forced to divide our interview in not only 2, but 3 parts, with a follow-up interview on June 10 at 12 p.m., put it on your calendar, to cover an hour long on the topic of animal insights on growing older and what comes after. As a channel of animal consciousness, Sandra brings forth messages from the animal kingdom for the benefit of humans. She has channeled close to 90 or even more species over the past decade. She is a published author of 4 books and a deck of animal message cards. We Walk Beside You, books 1 and 2, which is for grown-ups, and The Secret of the Animals for Children, book 1 and 2. Please contact Sandra directly at her website, www.smendelson.com. And now let's bring Sandra and continue on our very important communication and topic. Hello,
Claudia.
Sandra.
Thank you for such a comprehensive, lovely introduction. Thank you so much. It's always great to talk with you.
It is. It is so much fun having you here, and let's just let the energy and the animals and everything that is supposed to happen today during our conversation. And thank you so much for being the voice of the animals.
Well, I'll tell you, they show up when they want to. At the beginning, years ago, it was every night, and when it's, animals don't blather on needlessly. When they have something to say, they say it. So today, because there's been so much change in humans that we cannot see, but the animals can, meaning the changes in our internal environment over the last few years, and what starts in the internal then eventually manifests in the external. So I have mostly channeled from horses, elephants, and birds. And as I mentioned in the previous interview, birds are the communicators across the entire animal kingdom. So they fly everywhere, they see all, and they transmit information that other animals act upon. And horses and elephants are two of the three species that do the most incredible energy work on this planet, which isn't to say that other animals don't, but specifically horses, elephants, and also whales do tremendous work to help work with us as well, individuals, helping us awake. So the first thing I'd like to share is from two horses. The first one is what is going on in the human emotional body right now. There is a huge purging that's going on. So there are many of us who are flushing out emotions. This is from a horse named Hugo, for ourselves and for all. You will know you are doing this when extreme emotions, seemingly unrelated to your now moment, turn off and on like a light switch. This is extremely tiring work, and all of you who are doing this must be commended. The animals, both domestic and wild, know about this work that you're doing and will show up for you with extra patience, affection, and show of support. And faith is of the utmost importance now because you cannot see where you are going and you cannot witness the enormous difference you are making in the collective consciousness and its vibration, which is rising. So that is hopefully going to be of some comfort to people that have been going through crazy, hard to understand emotional swings that with dread, fear, anxiety, sadness, that you really can't connect with something in your life. So please know that these uncomfortable feelings are purging from you, and you are also helping purge the collective. And then there is a horse named Honeybee who shares even more perspective. She said, there are more, now, yes, these are especially challenging times, and that is why there are so many humans who are discovering that they are light workers. They are here now because they are needed. Now, as I mentioned, also animal light workers. We are never alone. So there are both human and non-human light workers helping us all and helping the planet. She continues, but even for those of you still unclear on your reason for being, kindness, softness, and respect for all life are critical in shifting the planet at this time. Also, unwavering optimism and joy are so central to the picture to return the earth to its wholeness. We always say, how can you laugh and sing when it seems you are surrounded by so much darkness? And according to Honeybee, that is how you shift the vibration, and you also shift the illusion that we all buy into. Staying open and dropping all expectation is also vital. And finally, she said something interesting. Try to loosen the ties with your body. In other words, don't allow what goes on in your body to dictate your mood. Now, we know that this can be challenging, and I can certainly speak to that. But she said, it is your vessel, yes, but your presence exists not just within it, but all around it, much bigger than the form itself. Picture yourself floating as a glowing sphere that is so much larger than your body. Because that is who you are and how you are operating on the planet. And especially when our bodies are going through trials, we tend to think that we are confined within it. But the imprint we are making is always energetic. We have to keep reminding ourselves that we are beyond our body. So that's from some insights from the horses right now on purging the human emotional body, and all the light workers that are helping us, and the need for, staying open, loosening ties with our body, remaining optimistic. So elephants went on to talk about this great shift that's going on and saying old ways are crumbling across the planet. Women and female energy are an immense force in facilitating this change. We know this because we get our news from the web of life, not the media, which is clouded with untruths. And many of you may refer to the web of life as the field, quantum field. The animals have never lost their connection with that. Some humans are beginning to regain our connection with the field, but we've been living in the life of the mind for so long that it's refreshing to hear from the animals who can receive information from it so easily. They continued, our communication system tells us the facts about the internal world, what's going on in thoughts, feelings, and awareness, as well as the external world of events. The internal world is where the changes, the exciting things occur. In time, the outer world then reflects the inner. We remind you to focus on seeing only with your internal eyes. This takes great discipline and can only be accomplished by tuning out of the illusory landscape around you. For example, any, quote, real or reality programming. Tuning out of that is important because it is an attempt to convince you of a reality that is no more. But we keep seeing it in the media and we believe it. Pull into yourselves and your own hearts. Avoid mass events and even take breaks from friends. Think of yourselves as growing energetically inside a cocoon because you are. Set aside time each day to see all that you want for yourselves, for animals, and Mother Earth. And keep letting go every day of energy, thoughts, beliefs, emotions that tether you to old ways of thinking and behaving, which are disintegrating. Even if you feel that you are only imagining it, we assure you that it is working. Cleanse yourselves this way as Mother Earth cleans herself constantly. Again, the animals are bringing us the report from the inside, the things that they know are occurring across humanity globally. And so the best way for us to tuning out the drama on the external, pulling into our own hearts, avoiding the energy of mass events if we can, and constantly reminding us, ourselves, to bring light. Imagine light coming into your body and then releasing everything that doesn't serve you. It's so simple. You don't have to make it fancy. The animals always simplify everything. But just constantly, after you've had a conversation, an interaction, after you've been on the internet, you've gone shopping, you've been in stores, you've been on the highway, this constant, in with light, into yourselves and releasing. And you'd be surprised how incredibly effective it is because it prevents the stuff from building up to the point where you feel horrible at the end of the day. Claudia, I know you know what that's about, correct?
Yeah, and I was thinking on that, it's like when we are in that process of always releasing, we as humans tend to say, and when are we going to ever be finished? And have the animals ever told you if we are ever going to be finished, or is this fun of being?
Evolution happens at its own rate. And the thing we have to always remember, and the animals will get into that in a little bit, remember you are connected to all of humanity. So even if you've been clearing yourself, you feel so connected to all that is, remember you are connected to all the humans that are as well. So it's not like, striving for the goal, right? The path is the goal. This constant cleansing is a function of where humanity is at right now, the need to clear ourselves of that. So that, I want to get into that in a little bit further down the pike here. I'll go into some more detail about what the animals have to say about energy and why it's so important for us to pay attention to that. So I'll get into that in just a little bit. But in addition to what the horses and the elephants have suggested, I also heard from a heron, and I thought this stuff was also so helpful for us because, we're all struggling with focusing on the good. So here is what the heron said. We press to get the attention of those who need beauty in their lives because they are living in their minds where they have not put any beauty. Only fear, worry, and negativity are found there. We want you to access positivity and your ability to see beyond what is in your now. Doing this, you're drowning in a sea of doom. You must see the earth and all living creatures rise and emerge from this darkness. So what to focus on? Strive for unity in your own home and your own life, and it will spread. Don't wait for external change in you. Remind yourself daily of your own goodness, not your flaws, so that your goodness expands. We do not focus on our own, our families, and community. You humans were not designed for what you concentrate on, situations you cannot help or change. Follow these words, follow or lead, and your happiness and survival strength will grow. So, they always have this ability to pull us into where we can affect change, because that's what they do. Even in energy work that they do, the elephants, they've even told me they only focus where change is possible. It's fascinating. So, they touched on the negativity and the fear, the gloom, and I know we've talked about this. People are so afraid there may be a world war. And I wanted to share what in particular, our leaders here, if you will, the horses and the elephants have to say about this topic right now. Starting from a horse named Hugo. He said, yes, the surface is very grim. The war, destruction, death, and displacement of so many humans and animals. But behind the scenes and under the stage, the groundswell of new life and the new earth is heavily underway. Many beings, human and non-human, are doing energy healing work. And new regenerative technologies and healing modalities are appearing. And there are so many beings overnight, whether in the etheric, that are working on human consciousness when we sleep, and there is no resistance. Humans are shifting, and the animals see it across the globe. And as he said, that is why we know that everything will be okay. And again, this is something humans can't see. How come the animals can? I wish I had all the answers. Again, not living in the life of the mind. But they see how we are shifting because of all the light workers, because of all the etheric beings that are working on us while we sleep, whether you believe it or not. And then an elephant, a matriarch named Tokwe, came in and said, we tune into the human landscape and see a slow progression, but it's in forward motion toward the light. Nonetheless, the balance of power is shifting. Again, this is something you cannot see, but we can. Those not of the light are resisting, so they make a bigger noise, appearing to retain power. Falsehood, my dear. It is such a shame you humans cannot see this except for a very small number of you. Events will take a turn for the good that surprise you. We can tell you there will not be a world war or mass destruction as many of you fear. The light quotient is rising too fast. This has never happened before in history. Tell everyone to see peace reign in their minds every day. I thought that was really powerful. You know, that elephants have the ability to talk about the light quotient. We can read about it, and some people are posting, what is the current light quotient? You know, dark, light, who's winning if you know, what the balance of power. But the animals just keep coming through with reports, you know, saying the light is winning, even if you can't see it. So, again, you know, the animals know this because they are energetic beings. So are we, but they know that they are. And they keep coming through, reminding us of the importance of paying attention to energy. Not for everything, for healing, for peace of mind, and to remain independent and be able to hear our own inner guidance. So I have a channeling from a lion and a donkey that really hone into why it's so important to pay attention to energy and how to do it. From a lion, humans do not see the truth about our existence. Energy is number one. This understanding is the root of our power. We teach it as a fundamental to our offspring, how to read it in potential prey, other beings, the wind, and the earth. Basically, ours is an energy school. It is a pity that humans are never taught what affects them most. You would do well to tell others that if they make no time to distinguish between what is their own energy versus another's, that they have absorbed, even unconsciously, that they cannot hear their own guidance or step fully into their own power. Why? Because they will be feeling sensations and emotions that are not theirs, but they believe them to be, especially from those with whom they are closest. So if you haven't already had that experience of, okay, wait a minute, you know, I felt really good, and then I was with so-and-so, and then I had a lump in my throat, or anxiety, it's never too late to start paying attention to how you feel before and after a contact. It could be online, it could be on the telephone. It isn't to separate you from others. It is simply for you to know what is you and what is not you, and view all with compassion, because everybody's in the same boat. Everybody is subject to energy from others. So making time to note how you feel after interactions, you know, as the animals have said, if your throat tightens, if your stomach hurts, if you have all of a sudden your words are muddled, or, you know, you get a headache, or you're having a hard time thinking clearly, this is your body telling you that these are other people's emotions and energies, not yours. And kind of active with this is something from a donkey named Elsa. And she said, I can speak for all of us here. We have healed here, and others have too. She's at a beautiful farm in Florida. She said, humans must see that where they go matters now more than ever. They must always check in and ask if, as I said, their heart, their stomach, their throat, or their head hurts when they enter a certain space. Do they feel tight? Healing places make you feel flowing, calm, happy, and loose in your body. So notice how all of your tight and aching parts feel when you are in a healing place. Now you must all begin to notice yourselves more and more, and how you feel moving from one location to another, right? You say people, places, and things. Well, these are really great ways to just notice. Just notice. You don't have to read books or make it complicated. But noticing, just stopping and saying, how do I feel right now with this person in this place? And that is a really, really critical step in retaining your own autonomy, so that you know if you hear something in your head or you get this urge, you know whether it's really coming from you or whether it's adulterated by emotions and energy you picked up. You know, we all want to say, we all know our answers are within us. We just want to hear them clearly. So getting rid of the interference is the key. Is that not true, Miss Claudia?
Now here, and Sandra, I'm wondering about this energy awareness. Does it also happen between them, between the animals, that they have that need of getting away from certain animals because their energy is not the way they want to be, or purging after being with maybe when the lions are with a lot of lions, they think, does that also happen with them, I wonder?
It's there's no judgment in the animal world. Many of them have told me, from pigeons to all kinds of other animals, they know when they need to go off and be alone. They recalibrate themselves. So it's just a part of life. You know, you'll see a wolf alone, you'll see a wolf in a pack, you'll see a bird alone, you'll see a bird in a flock. It's very fluid with them. It's like they are so in tune with what they need energetically that they just will go off and recalibrate. It isn't like, oh, I have to get away from that other lion. At least not the way they've communicated it to me. And I wholeheartedly believe that this is true. Because energy is number one, not accomplishment as it is in our world. From the moment of birth, or probably even before birth, animals are they learn from their parents and their mothers all about energy. It's like breathing. So when they need to go off, they do. When they need to rejoin the group, refreshed, they do. Just like no judgment, no problem.
And Sandra, I remember in one of the posts, one of the animals was talking about how you should be able to recalibrate your own energy, but if you need to have a healing, to search for someone to help you with that.
Yeah, that's actually the next section that I'm going to get into. Specifically, that was talking about illness. That was talking at which animals only call healing crises. They don't call it illness. And so thank you for that segue, because I can get right back into that. You know, so many humans are dealing with illness right now that I'd be remiss if I didn't share what the elephants, it's not just elephants, but I've got elephants, horses, lions, and ostriches with really wonderful perspectives on health and healing here. So this I did cover in, I'm not sure where we got cut off in the first conversation, but I'm going to start with an elephant and then move forward to the other animals. So this is what she said. The human healing crisis. We do not use any other words to describe the times when you are physically and emotionally challenged. We experience them as well, but not as severely as humans. Because we expect them, we do not fear them, and we always envision ourselves on the other side of them, beyond the challenge. So this is how you can best navigate them as we do. And you know what? These may seem like this is me talking, very simple, obvious points, but trust me, when you are going through a tough time, it's so easy to make some blunders, especially number 4, I'll get to that, that really work against us. So the animals know how to pay attention in order to facilitate their healing. So here's what they suggest. Number 1, keep your life as normal as possible. We know we humans sometimes tend to cut things out that we still could do because we've labeled ourselves as ill. Number 2, add more things that make you laugh. Number 3, visualize yourself every day as already fully healed. Again, easy to forget that one. Might be a good thing when you get into bed or first thing in the morning and last thing at night. visualizing yourself as fully healed. Number 4, easy to slip up on this one, especially when someone asks you how you're feeling. Do not talk about your issues. Your cells are listening, and they will assume the form that you speak about. Number 5, requires some attention here. Plan all the activities that you can still do. Write them down in a list and put them into your schedule. Number 6, make sure you spend your time with your friends and loved ones. Focusing on being with them gets you out of your head. We never walk alone. I mean, I actually know of an elephant who broke his leg. It took 3 years until he could walk on it again. Trust me, he never was alone. And number 7, do not question the why. Sometimes these trials are actually protective, and you will not understand how until much further down the road. The Creator's wisdom stretches far beyond what we can see. So that is the first one. That is from an elephant. And now for a totally different species, from an ostrich. And I couldn't understand why an ostrich was thinking about this. And so I did some online searching, and apparently they're quite flexible in how they live, where they eat, where they will travel, who sits on their eggs. So I guess this is why they came through talking about how we need to be flexible with both our attitude and our time in order to heal. Flexibility is of utmost importance for recovery, especially in 2 areas, your attitude and your time. Your attitude, the more inflexible you're thinking, the more you slow your healing. I can't, it's terminal, I'm stuck with this, it's never going to change, I'm old. Those are very rigid comments to make to yourself, and your body's listening. Regardless of what anyone tells you, you must see your body as a regenerative energy machine, always creating the new. And your time, you need to devote more of it to the care of both your mind and body. Again, putting it in your schedule, even if you're still working. Stillness and laughter are central to the healing process. Time in nature, you already know, is medicine in itself. But you must make space for it separate from any health treatments you might be receiving. These may seem obvious, but are especially important for those of you who are still up and about and keep pushing yourselves too hard. You must let your body and your energy heal and take the lead, or you will keep going backward. And we humans are so addicted to doing that we don't even know when we're pushing too hard. You know, it could be such a slight little amount, and then we land ourselves back in bed. So, again, for attitude, being flexible in your thinking, that your body is a constant regenerative machine, stillness, laughter, time in nature, every day. That's how we enable our bodies to heal, in addition to whatever health treatments we're getting. And then, of course, a really, really powerful thing that I'm sure most of us never consider about the necessity to focus on our energy fields in order for the body to heal. This is what the Horse said, all the healing we do on humans and on each other is done on energy. We address the different layers of what you call the aura or energy field. We also clear the energy centers of your body. And as many people know, those are our chakras. The horses then replace constricted energy and energy blocks with lots of high frequency energy, also known as love. And here's the point. Humans do themselves a terrible disservice by ignoring their energy field when healing. They do not know that it can fracture or suffer holes if the human body is invaded by injury, illness, or surgical procedures. And then they wonder why, long after an operation, they have not fully healed. It will benefit humans to learn how to clear their own fields or work with a good energy healer to assist on the pathway of regeneration and healing. So, Claudia, I believe that is what you were referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we never think about. And I know so many people many years after a surgery that are still in pain. And yeah, we say it's scar tissue. But again, if everything begins in energy first and we don't heal the dissonance or the holes in the energy field, then the tissues don't heal. And most of us don't look at it that way. We just don't understand why we haven't healed after surgery. So, then I just have one more from a lion because, when we're trying to find answers to our own healing, we grab for, quite often, we go for medications, we go for very intense stuff without ever considering other things first that might work. So here's some info from a lion. The human physical body has a slow, dense resonance, making you believe that you need very strong medicine. But most of you do not try healing with nature first before running to human-made preparations that can have ill effects. We suggest you consider what we do. We know to stop eating to release poisons from the body. We understand the importance of pure water, and we find another source of ours becomes unclean. We use the power of sunshine and sleep to bring us back to balance and enable rest and healing. And we put our paws upon the earth to receive her healing energy. A lot of people have heard about grounding, about walking barefoot. This is exactly what, and the importance of it, this is what the lion is referring to, since there's such healing negative ions coming from Mother Earth. He continued, humans know about healing plants, which are very powerful, but they need to stick to natural amounts and not over-concentrate. Nature already knows the best proportions for healing. I thought that and concentrates and pills, and no one ever suggested that that might be an inappropriate concentration. And he said there are also cycles of the moon that are most auspicious for healing, and we make sure to connect with the moon's energy then. And very similar to what the elephant said, most of all, if humans understood the importance of patience in the healing process, they wouldn't force their bodies so hard, which can backfire. You must see the lesson in the healing journey, as we do. And that might be the most challenging part of all, to look in an open way at the circumstances of our challenge and what inner strength we are becoming aware of, what was not serving us that could have contributed to the situation in the first place. We put ourselves in a really compromised situation about something we ingested, put in our bodies, a treatment, whatever it was, a way of thinking, self-limiting way of thinking, being dominated by fear, which can crush your body, especially over time. So those are the lessons and the awarenesses that the animals know can really come from our healing experience if we look at it in an objective way. And, I know I've covered a whole lot of things that are so easy to rattle off, but I just want to put it out to your listeners that if you would like the transcript from everything I've discussed, please feel free to email me at Sandra@smendelson, MENDELSON.com, and I will happily send you the script for easy reference, because, the animals live quite differently than we do, and it takes some repetition and practice to embrace different perspectives, ways of being that can really help us. I don't expect anybody to retain everything that I've just shared.
Yes, and they can also always replay this interview for free and send it to everyone that they know, because this is good information.
Well, this is such a wonderful show, and I've listened to many of your guests, and this is just a wellspring of knowledge, healing, and inspiration, and love, and that is what's healing our planet. And so I thank you, Claudia, for making this space for us to come back to.
Now, yeah, so because we have to understand that more than ever, we all need to pay attention to energy and to listen, not only animals, the plants and the planet and the waters, and we can get messages from so many areas of expertise in these matters, don't you think?
I couldn't agree more. So many people are now tuning into animals, plants. They may start out with one-liners, and they're trusting their intuition. That is what this awakening, a good part of this awakening, is about. We are infinitely more powerful than we know. We all have clair, whether we feel it, have instant knowing, we see images, we sense it in our body, we hear words in our head. Plants, animals, light beings, people are really opening up right now, and it's so beautiful to see. This is what we're here for.
Yeah, and always look for answers. Always look for messages like today's. Whenever we have a thought process that has just come from spirit, and we wonder, is it true, is it not, should I believe, should I follow what? Just wait and listen. You're going to have confirmation in many areas of your life of what you have just received is truth. And many times it will come from some place that you could not even imagine it would. So a smile, a little note that you find, a animal that comes and tells you exactly what you were thinking of, a poem, a song. There's so many messages there for us.
Oh, that's so beautifully put. And Lori Ladd talks about this, and she said, if you hear in your head, don't do this, or you got to do that, it's ego. When it's spirit, or should I say when it's your higher self, it's always like, you can do it. It doesn't tell you what to do. It's an encouraging, oh, wow, you curious about that? You could do that. So it's always positive when it comes from a higher source. It may not tell you exactly what to do, but it's really, it's encouraging and attractive. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, that kind of thing.
I know. So, Sandra, I'm looking forward for our next conversation on June 10. So we're going to put it out there, and we invite everybody that is listening today. And tell us a little snippet. Why do we want to listen to that conversation?
Oh, my goodness. I found it really fascinating that when I wanted to know, I was holding in my consciousness, how do animals experience, quote, the aging process? And I could not believe how many different species came through with such complementary yet different messages, because humans are completely upside down about how we view aging. What animals have to show us is, it's my favorite, I have to say, of all the topics. It's the largest topic in my new book, the book 2, We Walk Beside You, Animal Insights for Everyday Living. Because these are things we didn't consider, maybe a little one, a sentence here or there. And it's an entirely different reorientation, what prizes really are. I don't want to give it away, but I mean everything from rhinos to zebras and birds and elephants and, of course, horses and just, you know, incredible insights to help us review and re-experience things as we move through time. And it can be wonderful. I mean, it's obvious. There are things you experience as you get older that you couldn't when you were making your mark on the world, when you were younger, when you were just still trying to figure things out from the most basic level. So, yes, I think you'll find it really, a goat. Oh, my God, there's so many. I'm very much looking forward to sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, and if people are listening to this, if like me or anyone that has gone through any loss, when I lost my mother and my pet, those are my two most great griefs that I have had. It also made me aware of the aging process. And I thought back then, and I said, gee, I am not prepared for this. I have not studied anything or received any messages on aging, on the afterlife, on grief, on all of those things. So thank you, Sandra Mendelson, for listening to that and for sharing that information. I can't wait for that. And all of this is going to change our minds in a way we cannot imagine. So thank you again. And with that, we're going to end today's show. But is there anything else that you want to say before we say goodbye?
Just if anyone wants to reach me, they can always do so on my website at smendelson.com. There are, oh my goodness, well over 100 additional channelings if they want to read those for free at the blog. I post every day on Facebook because the animals have come through considerably more since, a given book comes out. It takes a long time to publish a book, but the animals still have more. So, Sandra.L.Mendelson or We Walk Beside You. Those are my two pages on Facebook where they can always just enjoy what the animals have to share with us on a daily basis. So, books, message cards, it's just lots of stuff for people to move through life with more ease and understanding and hopefully some joy. So there you go.
Everyone that wants to buy your book, they can either buy it at your website or Amazon, correct?
Well, it's actually, my first book especially is on a lot of sites now. So if you just Google Sandra Mendelson, We Walk Beside You, there are some people that don't shop on Amazon. I know the book's on Barnes & Noble, but there's many, many sites across the globe, I've found out, where the book is available in different countries. So Amazon is a good place to start, Barnes & Noble certainly in the U.S. But if you if you search, not just Google, Sandra Mendelson, We Walk Beside You, there's many options. You can even find them used and things like that. So thank you for asking about that.
You're welcome. And Sandra, do you know if your book has been translated to other languages?
I don't think so. I see that, it's continuing to sell. It's been almost 5 years now, which is very inspiring in a lot of other countries. But I'm sure that in those countries people speak English, and so they're reading the English version. Yeah. There's more ahead. I can't really say what might be coming down the pike in terms of that, but everyone's like, oh, you got to do an Audible, you have to do this. Well, we'll see. The most important thing is just to get the messages out there for people in some form. So I always post on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. But there's lots more ahead. I don't know what comes next.
Well, thank you so much for that. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Continue having a beautiful Sunday. And we will see you back on June 10 with Sandra Mendelson and every Friday with all of the other hosts. Goodbye.